Wearables on my eyes, wearables on my chest, wearables on my wrists, wearables in my ears. Apple's WWDC is around the corner, and they could be getting into wearables in a major way, or they may be talking about it later. Here's what I think might happen, whether or not it appears at the show, as far as Apple, its wearables, and its AI aspirations. First of all, there's a lot of reports already floating around out there. There's a lot that we seem to know. Mark Gurman, very noted Apple reporter, has already talked about Apple's plans for up to 3 different AI wearables that are new. One might be a pendant, which is what I'm wearing right here around my neck, made by Looky. Now, a lot of these AI pendants have cameras, microphones, can record. Sounds creepy, right? I mean, how will Apple make that feel okay? How will they find a way to work that into our everyday lives? How will they make that work with contextual AI, which, as we see with Google and Gemini, is starting to get a lot of camera-assisted stuff built in? The other thing that Apple may be doing, which everyone's doing, is glasses on our face. Now, we got Meta glasses, we got Google glasses coming this year. Snap is making glasses. It's very likely, and I've thought for a while, that Apple will make glasses because they already have audio, they already have camera tech. The only thing they're really missing is the next generation AI that, again, would use cameras to recognize the world and be able to assist you. What else would they do? Maybe they start really simple, because Apple tends to do that for its first generation products. But they do need that next gen AI. Again, I'm going to stress that, because their partnership with Gemini has not been fully fleshed out yet. We don't know what's coming. But let's get to the wearables that Apple already has. First of all, the Apple Watch. It's a big pioneering smartwatch. It's really popular. It's on a lot of people's wrists. But it doesn't have all the things that certain wearables are starting to get, including the Fitbit Air, which I'm wearing right here. Google just revamped its fitness platform to add generative AI as a coach, as a layer through the whole thing. It's a little weird, it's also sometimes really helpful, and Apple doesn't have anything like that yet. Not really. I do expect the Apple Watch to get some AI levels of coaching, awareness, things to summarize things. I mean, Apple Intelligence has been trying to do that. But a lot of that Google partnership that's now happening with whatever Apple's working with Siri is going to knit some smarter things together that will probably hop across services and across devices. And then finally, let's get to the one that I think is the most immediate and the most likely, and that's AirPods. Right here in my ears, I don't usually wear those during videos. AirPods, again, super popular, and there are already reports pointing to Apple's first next generation wearable being camera-equipped AirPods that could be coming this fall. Maybe they're called AirPods Ultra. Now these things, why would they have cameras in them? Well, we've already seen headphones that have cameras. There was a Razer and Qualcomm set of headphones that I saw at CES that had cameras built into them. A concept, but again, to show how AI could be served up with those cameras. The other thing that cameras on Apple's wearables might do is something more gestural, more of a field of awareness that could recognize hands and eventually, because of a QAI acquisition, recognize lip movements, maybe read your lips and be able to allow you to speak subvocally. We don't know a lot about this at all beyond reports. Maybe Apple talks about that first, or maybe they talk about none of this at WWDC and instead talk about their AI plans, which are really overdue. Again, that Google partnership, adding Gemini as a layer into what they're trying to build, will not only do a lot more things more adeptly, but I look at a lot of the ways it'll get multimodal. Again, to bring in cameras, to bring in audio, to eventually work with other forms of inputs like gestures, and to do it faster than they've been able to do. That could eventually end up on headsets like Vision Pro as well, or whatever they make after Vision Pro. But I think Apple has a ton of hardware pieces to work with, and they gotta start with the software and the AI and the developers. So we'll see what's coming at WWDC very soon. I'm super curious because it's also the turnover, in a way, of the beginning of Tim Cook to John Turnus before he takes over fully in the fall. If you have questions or comments, let me know down below. And as always, thanks for watching.